Okay, in this module, we are going to be setting our kids up for success. We can't just hope that they're going to be able to do this without priming their relationship, getting it ready. They are not going to be kind to people they don't like. They're not going to be kind to people that constantly annoy them and do these little nasty little things. So focusing on connecting as a family is really going to help this because they're going to enjoy spending time together. Those family date nights, the game nights, the movie nights, laughing together, dancing in the kitchen, whatever you've come up with, it's going to connect them. And it's really important. The proof of love activities also really play really big into this section because when our kids they know that we love them and we've spent time with them, there's less to compete for our time. There's less sibling jealousy and sibling rivalry and sibling competition. They're not vying for us. And that just takes so many things off of the table when they're having to just bicker over silly little things. So positive relationships is the number one thing that improves our kids' sibling interactions and the way that they live together in a day-to-day basis. So here's how we set them up for success. One, in our family, we don't force them to share. Now, hang with me on this one. Sharing is when somebody says, you get this. Oh, no, now it's your turn. Oh, I'm going to decide now it's your turn. It's a little arbitrary. We have our kids instead turn take, so they feel in control. It's theirs. They can then give it up freely when they're ready. And most kids, when they are told they don't have to share, use it until you're done. But can you give them a turn when you're done? Not right now. When you're done. It allows them to have control over it and then they give it away freely. May I have a turn when you're done is how our siblings talk to each other. Can I have it when you're done? You can have it when I'm done. Giving them these words. I don't make them share special things. If they got something that's really special for their birthday, they don't have to share it with their siblings. They can keep it in a special place. If it's out in the open, then they need to put it somewhere special so that their siblings know that this is their special item. We do share books. That's a common thing in our house. This is my book. We share books, but we don't require, if somebody's reading a book, you don't have to stop what you're doing and give it to someone else. When you're done, you can give it to them. So sharing versus turn taking, it empowers our kids to know that they don't have to give up their things arbitrarily. So if you have, you can create a specials box, a place where they can put their things. The other one that's really important to stop the sibling rivalry in its tracks is to be really mindful about how you speak about your kids to each other in front of each other. So this avoids the labeling. Well, your brother's the fast one, your brother's the smart one, you're the artist. Well, you're really better at this than your brother. We don't need any of that. We can give them compliments, and the best way to do it without inciting sibling jealousy is to give them compliments in private. You're a great artist. It's not being a better artist than somebody else. In fact, we've banned comparing the and the s. You can be fast without being the fastest or being faster than someone. You're just fast, and that's awesome. You are smart at math. That's fantastic. You're not better at math than somebody else. So avoiding the labels and how you praise them, doing it in private really helps with that. And if you need some more, because you're seeing a lot of sibling rivalry, if you need some more support, check out the book Siblings Without Rivalry. It is fantastic. The next thing we do is we really explain to our kids the difference between tattling and telling. When our kids tattle on each other, they're pitting themselves against each other. It's brother versus sister or sister versus sister. It doesn't work. Tattling gets people in trouble. So the way that I do it is I explain to them, telling is if somebody's hurt or is about to get hurt. So if they come into me, well, is somebody hurt? Is somebody about to be hurt? Okay, so if that's not true, then you need to either ignore it or you need to say you need to stop, or you can say, I don't like that. Please don't do that anymore. And if you still need help with how to get them to stop, I can help you, but don't come and tattle to me. And as parents, then we have to follow through with that and not put a consequence on the kid who was tattled on, because that reinforces the tattling behavior. The next thing we can do for our kids is to give them their own space. Give them a private area that's just for them. If you live in a small home, that can be tricky, and I get it because I am in a small home. We have put my son's desk in a closet and he could shut the curtains. The space I'm sitting in when he was 3, this was his cubby hole, and there's pinholes everywhere in this wall. I can cut myself from all the times he pushed pins into his special drawings. We cut out a little space in our backyard that he could put a little chair and just go sit and read his book and just be alone. If your kids are introverted, if they just need downtime, they're gonna need this space. If your kids have bunk beds, I hung curtains around my daughter's bunk bed so she could close them and have some physical space. They need that ownership. They need alone time. They need to recharge their batteries. They need a sense of ownership of a space. So it doesn't have to be a big space. It doesn't have to be their own room, but they need something that's kind of theirs. And then we're going to talk about this more in a later module, but there's certain behaviors that we just ban in our home because they incite just mean behavior. So we don't use sarcasm in our home, and we don't use the comparing, the and the est on the end of words. So when my kids say, "Oh, I'm faster than you," I just say, "Oh, you are fast. We don't need to be faster. You're fast. You're great at soccer. That's great. We don't need to be the best at soccer." So there's certain things we ban, and I'm going to go over them, and you can pick and choose what works for your home. We also use the think method all the time with siblings and the try again method. So when they're nasty to each other, we can say, "Oh, that wasn't a kind thing you said. You need to try again." So we're using these techniques constantly. And I know as parents, we need to pick our battles. These are battles I always pick. Why? Because they're little moments that cause little tears in their relationship. It really does matter. It really does add up. When a sibling is constantly saying the same thing, just being nasty, the same word, "You're so blah, blah," blah, whatever they're saying, it just wears down their relationship. But we can change it if we stay on it and we're consistent. We also, another strategy we do is we remove certain needs to fight. So if there's high ticket items or hot topic buttons in your family, like maybe where you sit in the car, where you sit at dinner, whatever their squabble tends to be, who's doing which chore, who has to shower or go in the bath first, whatever the fight is, or who gets to go first, set up a routine so it just takes the squabble off. So in our car, we have assigned seats. They know where their seat is. There's no race to get the better seat. When I was a kid, we were always racing for shotgun. We were racing for the best seat in the minivan. We have assigned seats in our car for a reason. I know some families have assigned seats at the dinner table. You can decide, okay, these are your chores today. This is what you're doing. Or this week, these are your chores. Or you can just assign them randomly, whatever you come up with, but there's no battling of it. It just takes that off of the table. We've also done some other things to connect our kids. So finding things that they both love and doing more of those. We've made sibling books where we take pictures of our kids and we put them together to show, look, you guys do like each other. So if you have an older sibling with a baby or a toddler, instinct says to help the baby first. They're the most needy. Your older child will be fine. Help your older child. The baby won't remember if they were chosen second. The older child will. So it's little things like this that can calm the sibling jealousy and the need for competition. And I also really spend a lot of time empathizing with my kids. Oh, it is really hard to be the oldest kid. I totally get it. I know you're frustrated. It's really, really hard to be the only brother. I know that can feel lonely sometimes. Just letting them be heard. This sets them up for wanting to be kinder to their siblings, for not being so mad about it, and it just evens the playing field a little bit. So it takes the jealousy off, it takes the competition off, and it levels it. It makes it a calmer environment for your family. So in the next module, we are going to talk about how to build up those positive relationships even more and set them up for how to act with kindness towards their sibling. I'll see you in there.